Hi, it's me, Donna the Crazy Girl. Okay, no, but I'm here. I really do. I want to try to get this out as quick as I can. So, you know, I was just thinking about, I was thinking about a lot of things. I wish I would talk it out while it's there, but it's like when it's happening, I can't. And I'm worried I won't be able to. But anyway, I keep dealing with, this feeling of, I want to call it like separation, but of coming back also into my body. So I once told my therapist, and not in the rest of the details, but this little part, that I feel like, turn the air off, I think it might be shooting into there, that I feel, like all of these invisible strings to all of these things and people, anywhere and everywhere, irrelevant to me, like not even in my vicinity. And I mean, for one, I think we all do it now, and I don't like it, but our kids too, we're so conditioned to sitting down or whatever, but like sitting, being away from each other, not doing things, not doing anything. You go to the park, what do? You sit on your ass. Your kids are playing. You could be playing with your kids. There's absolutely no reason on this earth for us not to play with our kids. My excuse for years was, I'm too heavy. I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. Which was how I got in that position in the first place. It was by sitting on my butt making excuses because I was concerned about what everyone else thought. What's everyone going to think when they see me playing like a little kid? I don't care what you think. And once upon a time, I didn't care what they thought. But anyway, so when I get a little CBD in me, etc., I can feel that feeling again. I and one of my, someone else, have both described it the same way, and I don't, anyway, like the 90s. By that, I mean, like I said, nowadays, everywhere I go, anywhere I go, any moment that I go, my brain is like, okay, there's a house there. Like, I know it, It's like the move. I know every pattern. I've got it all figured out, worked out. My brain already knows what's going to happen, and I'm creating it to happen up here because I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't even consciously do it, but it's already preset. But I guess that's kind of what people say and what they mean when it's like, do something different. Go out of your comfort zone. Like, life wasn't meant to just be wake up, repeat, wake up, make breakfast, argue, fight, scream, yell, get the kids off to school, go to work, come home miserable, cook some food or go get fast food, sit on the couch and watch TV and scroll a phone and watch everyone else live life while you just sit on your tuchus all miserable. That's not what life was supposed to be. Actually, I mean, yeah, God wanted us to explore and do it. I know you ain't got to be religious, that's cool, whatever, but it's always, this is what happens, and I can't organize my points. But anyway, we need to be doing that stuff. We need to put the phone away from us, like light years. And I know now they're finally coming out and saying, science has discovered this, science has discovered that. Our phones were, I know that. I knew that. I didn't need you to tell me what I knew. Sorry, but I did. I did think those things. I did hypothesize those things. Another thing I like about CBD, etc., is that it seems like maybe it's because it does silence our mind. Like I said, I know I have been so in survival mode all the time. I mean, for years. I can't even. And so, by that, I mean, like, down to a scientific level. You know what they say, it can be a trauma response, it can be ADHD, it can be blah, 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 whatever it is. And also it's supposed to be women's intuition, but there's the saying or whatever that you're like basically hyper alert all the time. You're constantly scanning for danger. I also had read that like people who do this, who do those things, they were probably more so in like the hunters of, humans or whatever way back. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a history person. I don't study. I should go back to college or school now because I actually care. And back then, I was just defensive, living in my ego, like probably all humans, mostly from what I can tell and see. And I shouldn't do that, though. I shouldn't create that reality in my brain. But I try not to do that anymore. I try not to assume, or even, and I don't even assume, I infer. And if you don't know the difference, when you don't know the difference, Google it. An inference is based on prior knowledge. And for me, I mean, experience is knowledge. for everyone. And so for me, and also, like I said, I can kind of like meditation, and it seems like whatever I've been focusing on, even when I'm not even aware I was focusing on it, or that it's like at the root of the problem, if that makes sense. Like when I feel like I'm having an especially difficult week or couple of weeks or month or whatever, I always know there's a breakthrough coming. It's really hard, and sometimes I'm so deep in the darkness. And sometimes I do get worried that, what if I don't come out of it this time? What if this time I'm really so sick of it? But it's like weird, almost like I can feel my, like I can gauge my, my battery power. Like, nope, not quite there yet. We're getting there. Like, it's up here. And I'm like, okay, we're getting there. Okay, I'm coming back down. I'm coming back down. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it is. It's like I can, and maybe I'm wrong. It's like when you're drinking, you can tell. You're like, okay, I'm getting to where I'm about to, if I do just a little bit more, I'm about to black out, But like, I don't drink liquor, so no. But it's like that, like if you were to responsibly gradually get there. So that's what I feel like about all of that. But I like getting the answers. I like feeling like I got these answers to problems, and it always makes me personally feel a lot better and helps me to have peace, because that's the whole point in experiences, is to learn from it. And I do truly believe like we're all cellularly connected. I know we are, because we're DNA connected, we're spiritually connected, we're in every way, shape, and form, whatever you want to call it, connected, no matter how they don't want us to know, or however you want to look at the world. But yeah, I just think we need to focus a lot more on being present, and I want to. That's my goal here lately, present and mindful. And I've been really working on that for a long time. Well, for about a year, it's kind of become a big thing for me. I'm not good with eye contact, by the way. Yes, it is exhausting. And masking, that's the thing. Masking, I'm sorry. I would say I don't know how I did it, but I guess I do, because I ended up having everything in my head. So again, when you're someone who's forced to condition yourself to conform to being this type of way, just to exist, just to literally merely survive and get by, but you're not just trained and conformed to do it a little bit. You're trained and conformed to do this for 8+ hours a day. Whatever, 365 minus 2, 4, 6, 8, about 8 days every month. Because you get those 2 days off of well, most of us are spending those days in depression, deep depression, and just trying to rejuvenate ourselves. And I'm not saying we're going out and having a fun time. We're not partying or coloring or drawing or climbing or hiking or biking. We are sleeping. We are scrolling and further consuming, which is actually worse for us, and consuming on television and consuming in grocery stores all the time. Just no one has a clue how exhausting and detrimental is what I want to say, but what's it mean? Deteriorate, like to deterioratingly. There is a word for that. I don't know what it is right now, but it's taking from our life. I know you're on a screen, and oh, you hypocrite. Exactly. No, I'm serious. Like, yeah, I want to be successful. I want to make an income from social media so that I don't have to leave my home. But I also, that's just to start up. I mean, that's not even, what I want to do? What I've said I wanted to do since, let's say 13 years old. I want to start essentially a community center. Essentially. Now, by that I mean, this was the vision I have had since I was young. First of all, I want the indoor pool. Now I also want the skating rink back. So I want fun-ish. That's not all that I want. I want basically a library inside this place. Because I want tutoring on hand for kids, students, people. I don't care who. I don't want partying. I don't want liquor. And I don't want drugs. But I want good, clean, be yourself fun. I have set this for, and you know what I thought? I thought you have to, I always say Britney Spears, because let's face it, hey, she's the queen. I always thought I have to get rich and famous first. Which basically I just have to get wealthy. But you get the point. I thought the easiest way was to get famous, you get rich, you use that money to do those things. And I'm still sitting here waiting on planes going by. No, I don't know, but no, I'm sitting here I guess that's kind of where all this kind of comes from, because this week, okay, I meant to tell you this. Let me tell you this. So this week I went out of my comfort zone. I know I'm in my car. I know my light's not like big. I know I'm not pretty. I know I weigh like 200 pounds. I'm 5'2 3/4. But, I went out of my comfort zone this week. I went to an audition. Now, it wasn't like, oh my God, you're staring at me. It's just me all by myself. I mean, there was a moment, actually. I was up there by myself. And it was crazy hilarious. I wish someone was recording it. But I was auditioning just to do like a really tiny theater act here in town. But clearly, they only wanted all the people they already know and use and go out to eat with and do dinner with and all of that. And they were like, we ain't got time to be coaching you through this. Like, you got to be able to know the scene that you've never heard of or seen before in your life and know exactly what that person was like. I thought I was supposed to be able to read it, get an idea of who the character was. But in this case, I really didn't. I mean, they were like, yeah, take your time. But I'm not that person that's going to spend 10, 20 minutes, and I'm a fast reader, to essentially, for one, every page didn't necessarily have like anything descriptive. It didn't say like huffy, angry, sad, mad. It just had a line, and I was supposed to know what it was. I read a whole huge paragraph, and the whole time, guess what? I'm reading it going, I have got to be on the phone. This character has got to be having a telephone, like a conversation. I was. My birthday time. But whatever. So whatever. I mean, I know I'm not perfect. I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, I am. But I was heartbroken. I seriously thought I'm 36 years old. Logically in my mind, I know this isn't the end of the world. Logically in my mind, I know this isn't the only one. I literally just told the 21-year-old girl sitting beside me that I don't feel like I'm gonna like freak out. Like, I'm not a diva, first of all. I wasn't right. It's bad. We've suppressed, it's masking. I don't do it. And I think that's a part of also why the acting thing, now that I'm trying to get back into it, is gonna be so difficult, because I've also been dealing with this recurring pattern coming up in my life saying you need to be present. You need to be in control of your life for things to go the way you have to show up. And by that, I mean, you can't literally just exist. I go to work. I smile, I nod, I empathize. I'll even tell a little bit about myself. Kind of overshare in a sense, I think, but without really sharing. Because it's like this. I learned this about myself, okay? I'm a fast reader, like I just said. I was in like first grade. I mean, when you're first learning to read. And I remember I would go back in a little room with other kids and read, okay? And I didn't know what that was. My sister says that it was probably speech, although I don't know. I seriously don't know. Now that I think back to it, after having a little test thing done in 6th grade, we all did it, by the way. It wasn't just me. It was the whole class. I think it was honestly comprehension. It was just taking a small group of kids, reading the same little book, and then talking about it and I think it was a comprehension thing. Because here's the thing. The same thing my 8-year-old daughter has said. And she can read, I don't know where the paper is, but they did a testing last year on what she read. 160 some words in a minute. I think it was actually 167 words. My daughter can read quickly. But do you know what she said? Mom, I don't have a clue what I read. Because she can read the words. She even knows what they mean, but she's not. It's like how they say you'll listen to a song, you'll sing it over and over, you know all the lyrics, but you don't really understand the lyrics. And I feel like that's how life is. I've been kind of on that. Like, people don't know the words they use and what they mean. For example, self-regulation or emotion regulation. I cannot. And I'm not a person who says I can't do this and I can't do that. I cannot not ever regulate my emotions. I feel what I feel, and I feel it out of nowhere with no choice. I can ignore it. I can regulate my actions and reactions. I can regulate what I choose to do with that emotion. It takes a lot of time and practice. And like this week, I didn't have it. I cried for 2 days. I really did. As you can tell, it's still a very sore subject. I cried for 2 days straight. And yes, I tried to do a gummy and see if it would all go away. And I think it intensified. Which will happen, especially with the wrong type of gummy. A so-called downer, something that helps me sleep. Because that's usually, I take a bite of one, take a quarter, a fourth, or some of a little, and to sleep. But when the kids are at school, I take those few hours, lay on the, because I was like, okay, it's like a breakup, Donna. Maybe if you just go through it. Just deal with it and go through it. Don't try to ignore it. Don't just, because I couldn't. That's the thing. I can ignore I have ignored a lot of things. I have gone to work before we even, I won't say buried my mom, but we were still taking donations, waiting to have enough money to have her cremated. And I was at work. 2 jobs. So, I had a son die. And I was able to pretend. It was like, oh, this is just something. I was able to rationalize, like, this happens. These things happen. People die. God only seriously does know how many miscarriages I've had. And no, I don't consider a miscarriage and a stillbirth, which is what happened with him at 27 weeks. Diabetes is real. Do not ignore it. Eat properly. Drink water. Or don't get pregnant. And I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I've had a lot happen in my life that I was able to just kick my heels in the air and keep on going. It doesn't mean I didn't find ways to let it out, which is why I was like, I'll watch something on TV. I love TV. You don't understand. When I was a kid, it was normal to play house, okay? It was normal to play house. And that's all I did. I seriously thought, oh my gosh, when the Scooby-Doo movie came out, I thought, oh my gosh, I would be the best actor with a non-real person, because that's how I've done it. I do it. I'm by myself. You're watching now. I pray, thank you God. But I'm by myself, and also I'm not normally this. I'm usually sitting here thinking, somewhere in the back of my mind, people are gonna watch this. I've got to be more normal. This has to look better. The lighting sucks. I don't even have a bra on. Right now, I don't fiv a guck, and I've got no reason to, because I am practicing that the only thing really in life that matters is spirit. It's God. The Amish have it right. I'm sorry, they do. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not at all, because it's true. You don't have to be religious. You don't have to believe God. You don't have to follow God. But at the end of the day, everything we're already doing is literally playing house. And I'm sorry, there is a hair on me that's driving me nuts and I can't get it off. If you don't realize that. I remember I was in probably 9th grade. I only think that because I can remember where I was sitting, the view that I had, and I know my friend was sitting beside me. And I think every year after that, she was gone. She did homeschooling and went to the military and became a man. I love you. I don't care. And I don't remember what I don't know why, because you know what? It was science class. It was literally probably called physical science. I think that was my 8th grade. 9th grade, first year of high school. I think it was physical science. Maybe that was 8th grade. Anyway, it was a science class, biology or something. And I can remember, like, I don't know, maybe he was like, you're so stupid. But I can remember my teachers just kind of like staring in silence face with nothing to say. But somehow we were talking about land and property and probably immigrants. Well, I'm going to tell you what I always am going to tell you, and that is nobody owns this place. No one owns this ground. Now, before you get all pissy and throw a trippy fitty, listen to me. I understand. We did this and we did that, and we're humans, and we took over and we commanded and demanded control and power over innocent people that were just minding their business, doing what we were supposed to be doing. Living off the land and in harmony. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, I'm not saying you can't have fun, try things, learn things. And that's what we did. We were like, I'm going to dig into every piece of this big old ball and find everything out I can. Joke's on you. It's ever evolving. And if you don't already know, you can pretty much Google, get a thesaurus, go to a library, whatever. Do your own actual tests and research, and you will find opposing results. You'll find them, period. To anything. Anything we follow, you'll find something against it that disproves it and proves something else or whatever. But yeah, we should definitely be and so I'm trying to do that. You know, I'm not saying we can't create the internet, create ways to connect and hang. I used to be a technology buff. By that, I just mean like, in my family, I was like, I can type 167 words a minute. That's what I mean. I type O. So Mavis Beacon just needs to give me back my backspace. But I do. I do. And I should have gone to college for computers and for writing and for drama and theater and film and business. I thought I was going to go to college and never quit. But when you're the baby of 6 and your mom lives on disability income, she literally, I had to take her to the college I ended up getting a degree at, which was a 2-year associate's degree, crap-ass community college. I had to take her there to sign papers to state basically that I wasn't dependent upon her. I didn't even live with her. I had already moved out and got my own apartment. I couldn't, there's no way I could live off her income. I don't know who would have thought that anyone could have ever. It's ridiculous, you know, by the time, but no, of course, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I mean, the oldest that you are, the better a shot you have, because she has more dependents, which means they don't expect you to have a lot of income. I got a Pell Grant. I got a Pell Grant for like $300 and some. Didn't even cover my photography kit I was supposed to get. And photography, because I'm an idiot, photography. Not fur. It's not fur. There's nothing fur about it. It's photography. 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 It's not photography. Photography. So, I just thought, well, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I still do it. I'm great at editing photos. When I have it and can remove things, I do. I do really cool things for people with pictures, and I go steal backgrounds off the internet and all that. And I love to do it. That is something I literally could actually and used to sit in school, not with just photos, just creating. We made menus. I can't even name it. Pamphlets. We made note cards for people. We could make doctor's papers, forms that you use, that you fill out when you go to the doctor. I mean, I could make you the shiz-niz with Windows 98 and whatever was right after that. But once they started doing dumb-ish and making it look more like an internet, I was in college and I failed my computer class. Me. If my computer teacher had known that, aka my mentor, my teachers used to call me her prodigy because I'd look at the paper and go, ooh, like white or cardstock, or ooh, this is thicker than regular letter or whatever paper. I don't know the specifics, but I can always tell. But I've also always been a paper person. I'm like a texture, tactile nature person. I swear to God, I'm autistic. But anyway, I don't need to be. I don't. I'm a whole lot of things, and I don't need a diagnosis, and I wanted it for a long time, don't get me wrong. Somebody just tell me, I saw a video today that said, some of us are so relieved, and you get to where you can no longer mask after you've gotten a diagnosis. And I'm sitting here, honestly, I can barely get myself to just be human with my own family. I can barely get myself to be me at work with people I've known 25 years. I have known these people, give or take, basically 25 years. People who were there when I had my babies. People who were there showing up. And I barely. They see the fun Donna unmasked, but they don't see Donna's opinions. They don't hear Donna's ideas because Donna knows they're going to be rejected. Donna knows no one's going to be on her side. Donna knows they don't agree and they will reject Donna, hate Donna. Maybe even it will become a physical, confrontation. What's that called? It'll become, and nowadays I try to make myself, oh, yes. So speaking of that, it is important, but hold on. I try to make myself not be that anymore. But this brings me to when I was on stage doing the auditions. We were just reading through the lines together. Like, she'd call so many people up. We'd play parts in a scene, like, read the parts. And there was this one girl who reminded me so much of my sister, who, by the way, has never really actually hit me. My sister's never, this one hasn't. Just this one, actually, I don't think has ever, unless I was very little that I don't recall. She's never swung at me or anything, but I put a hole in her laundry room wall once. She's just, if you ever met a narcissistic Capricorn, that's it. You've found her. Whether she is or not, I don't really know. She's my sea star. I love her. But, the character the girl was playing, and then the way she started to play it more and more and better, it started to sound like a really, I want to say highfalutin, I don't know what else to call it, but like a character from Designing Women. And it was fierce. It was really fierce. And also she kind of, yeah. And so I was like, oh yeah. But in my mind, that put me in my sister, and I hesitated. I was in the middle of a really short line. I think it was, you're just too self-centered to blah, blah, blah. By the way, this is why I can't remember the rest of that line. I was in my head seeing my sister. I read the line out here, but in here I was doing something else. I was scared because I thought, I'm going to say this to you like this. I'm going to say, and you handled it so well, and I'm going to say, you're just too self-centered, I don't know, to appreciate her kindness or niceness, because that was essentially what was going on. That's the general idea. And I was scared that I'm going to say this, and this woman is going to turn around here on the stage in front of everybody and punch me in the face. And it's not just that they're going to see me, it's not that. It's that then they're going to gang up on me and tell me that I was wrong. I had to learn that. I know God put me in that room. I know He put me right here in this seat. Doesn't matter if this reaches anybody. What matters is, I guess He reached me. Because now I have learned, this is one of the reasons I've been told I need to show up. I need to be present. I need to be me right here, not me scared and worried and only responding to keep other people comfortable. My perception, my voice, my ideas need to be heard. I need to be able to get on a stage and not care that I mess up. Not care that I don't actually know what's going on in this scene. I need to show up as me. Show up, not just be there as a support system. I'm not a freaking chair for people to sit on. I'm not a maid walking around cleaning up everyone's mess. Where was I? I was somewhere and something happened. Like I know they dropped something when I first got to auditions and was trying to get waiting to get a piece of paper to write everything on. I know I do those things out of the kindness of my heart, okay? But also, I have this overwhelming feeling almost like it's my responsibility a lot of the time. And I've been really fighting with that for the last year as well. Last year around April, May, June, I'm never sure exactly which month, I started to really try to focus on me. I started to really go, Donna, you need to look at you. Look at you. And we all do. We need to look in the mirror. Sorry to tell you what you need to do. It's for help, though. It's not a command. It's not a demand. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm saying we really do. I've learned it from experience. We really do. And the Bible tells us to do and be these things. It doesn't tell us to tell other people to do it or to be it or to take away their rights to it. Yeah, I'm sure you know where I stand on a lot of ish right now. And I don't do politics and all that. It doesn't do any good. And I don't talk about it. It doesn't do any good. And I try to be a good listener for my kids, for my family, for everyone. So, I've also noticed that by me not really just being present, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm actually... So I started doing like deep breaths. It makes me really mindful. So does praying. But to me, the first step is the deep breath so that I can try to be present. Although while you're focusing on deep breathing, you're actually not being present. Which is also where I started to do... I'm bike riding. I did yesterday. I'm bike riding again. I am dancing in my living room alone, jamming to whatever I turn on YouTube. It's usually Britney Spears, but sometimes I don't want to feel just kind of club style provocative. Not that all of her music's like that, and there's always usually an extra beat, used to be. I've always loved that about her and her music. I don't think most people get it, that it's so dimensional. Like, she's got a lot going on at once. It's not just... It's... Like, there's just a lot going on. Dead to rights. And I know people always say, there will never be another. I'm sure there won't. Unless it's probably another really good Sagittarius who she was probably masking too, to be honest. That we make the best actors and actresses and etc. because we're constantly acting. However, again, here's my problem. What I just said. I've learned this. I think it was Gary Marshall. I was watching behind the scenes for Princess Diaries, and he said something about someone lying or something, and he said, acting isn't lying. I don't remember the rest, but he's basically saying it's not. You have to get inside that person. You have to tell that story. You have to, like, instead of me walking around taking on the world of everyone else, I have to be inside myself taking on my world. But also, my problem with that is what a lot of people do, and we're defensive because we're living out of our trauma, out of our pain, out of our... That's it. At the bottom of it, it's pain. I'm sorry. I hope and I pray good people at the bottom of our anger, our hate, our jealousy, our resentment is some kind of pain, something that didn't get dealt with, or we don't feel special, we don't feel important, we don't feel... Let me tell you, I know I can't say this, I know it's gonna go. There is nothing in this earth like being a white woman in the world / America to feel like you're the most irrelevant fuck on this planet. And again, maybe I'm just saying that from she's the baby, she always gets what she wants, she's so spoiled, the baby of 6 girls. Because I'm gonna tell you, maybe I did when I was very little, got my way a lot, I don't know. All I know is they used it to their advantage. Ask mommy to get us McDonald's, ask mommy to get us McDonald's. Bitch, you used me, you did that, and you did it all the time, and you didn't want nothing to do with me, unless I was doing something for you, and it's still like that. I'm 36 years old, and now I'm finally done and over it. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't care. I'm not using family. No, because what you're doing is you're enabling, which is really bad for the soul, because then people don't feel like they're right. See, so when something happens, what you're supposed to do anyway is stop and think, which doesn't mean they will, because most of them don't. Like I said, egotistical, haven't made it past whatever mental or emotional maturity level. What I'm saying is, I make it worse by being too afraid to say anything, or thinking that I'm doing the right, nice, godly thing by always stepping. I'm not. And aside from everything else, it's partly, let's just say it comes down to what God says. Take care of the family that you made. The family that you made. Once you're an adult, and everyone's an adult, you take care of the family you made first. And when everyone follows that fucking rule, we won't have so many issues. But yeah, let's say we all do follow the rule and it's not hunky-dory perfect. We do run short on things. We can trade, we can barter like we used to. Imagine that. We all can use our strengths appropriately to help and uplift and make the world go round. Because what makes the world go round, folks? Love. What is love? God. What is God? Love. What is anything? Love. And when it's not, we don't need it. We need to toss it out. We need to learn from it, find out what's wrong, fix it, get over it, whatever it is. And I know it's like, well, that sounds like a utopian. Yes, it does, because I'm sure it is. Oh, so yeah. So anyway, I've got to be present. I want us all to be, because I know we're going to be so much happier, but it takes flexing all those muscles. So for me, I always say, do the thing that makes you feel nearest, closest, whatever, to source. Well, whatever source you think that is, basically your passion, what fuels your heart, what fuels your soul. Because when I say heart, and we do this, we mean physical, 3D, medical. And I'm not talking about science. I'm talking about your soul, your consciousness, your beyond consciousness, you know. It's so funny how 1 and 0, exactly, how it's actually the dominant, the most important, the superior, the whatever, you know. And it's also bottom line, bottom dollar, basic B. Just, it should have just been the common, we do this first, but instead it became, let's learn everything that we possibly can, let's fight over everything that we possibly can, let's keep them fighting. As long as they're trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong, they still think we can bring a man back from the dead. No, we can't. If any of that was even real, we can't. And we should be, if you're out here going, oh, no, you should have done this, you shouldn't have done that, you're bad, naughty, and evil, you need help and you need healing, then go do what he was doing. He should have focused on what he was doing, not to pass judgment, but in the terms of what would have been more successful and helpful. Things don't change overnight. Macklemore says it. You know, we can put whatever on a piece of paper, but that doesn't change it. We have to change us. I mean, it's literal. It's right there in your face. And it's true. Focus on you. Stop going, well, they're doing this and they're doing that. It's this and it's that. I feel like, then step out. And you're supposed to step out. Like I said, no. We're hurting each other. I love them, that's why I do it. No, you're scared, or you're worried, or you're afraid, or you need to feel relevant, or... No. When you love someone, you want to hand them the power. You want to teach them to fish. Period. That's not a philosophy. That's not my belief. That's literal fact. Now, it's not a kind of tangible fact you can put in your hand, of course, and that's all anybody wants to believe in the 3D world. Blah, 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 blah. But that's just not it. That's not it. That is never going to be it. It has never been it. Has it worked yet? I'll wait. Exactly, because it doesn't. Put it down. Pick up something new. Do something. Don't answer the phone. Leave it. Get an MP3 player. I've been wanting to. Only problem is I don't know where downloading services are. So I still have to go out and buy a couple CDs. But I'm a CD girl. Don't ever think don't ever. I ain't never leaving it up to good old. This is the government. Oh, I know. You're like, no, it's okay. I'm not that person. I'm not, what's it called? Like, I'm not a conspiracy, although you can call it that all you want to. I'm a person who sees patterns, realizes, and recognizes, and we call it a coincidence, as if a coincidence is something that wasn't done on purpose. Like, oh, wow, what an accident. That's crazy. What a happy accident. Again, are you listening to the word coincide? Co usually means together. I mean, there's the inside, but like if you put incidents, there are two incidents that were they were cooperating. You can say God did it, or the government did it, or your aunt and uncle, or your mommy and your daddy, your mammy, your pappy, your uncle, your auntie. I don't care. But that's what that word means. It means it is a legitimate on purpose thing. Someone did it. Like I said, I was meant to be in that theater. I was meant to have a breakdown for a week while my husband's out of frickin' town and I'm home alone with the damn kids. I was meant to go through this to learn what I'm learning. And one thing I'm learning is I'm a really angry, unhappy person. And I'm working so hard to not be unhappy anymore. I get to choose how I see the world, how I perceive the things that happen to me. Yeah, for a minute I was like, oh my God. That's why I was down, because I had given up for a really long time. I had given up on, my dreams. And I was like, I'm reviving my soul. I'm getting back to what I love. I'm just going to go do this for fun. Everyone else is allowed. Why am I not allowed? Well, because Donna's always not allowed. How dare you be a single mom working 2 jobs, get your actual degree by yourself with your child in daycare, and want to get a tattoo? How dare you? You don't need child support. You're out here getting tattoos at tax season you earned with your 2 jobs while you were getting a degree and raising your kid. How dare you, if you're so whatever that word is, and you need a break. If you need a break, you shouldn't have had kids. Well, honey, I'm sorry, I didn't have mine. 3 or 4 of them while I was in high school, and had a mommy, an auntie, my boss that lets me come in late, not show up. All I do for a living is make fucking hair bows, etc., etc. I don't have that. Baby, I don't. My dad died in 98. I was 9. My mom died in 2010. I was 21. I don't have that. I don't have a support system. I don't have friends. I have users, abusers, manipulators, poor pity meers. I don't have it, but you don't care and you don't give me grace. Only your excuses excuse you, and I just have to suck it up because I'm Donna. Holier than thou, golden, know-it-all. How can I be any of that when I guess you perceive my words that way because of how I speak. I've done everything. I change my tone, my inflection. I spin my words around to make sure that I don't say anything that someone will be offended by and misconstrue, because inevitably they're only going to see themselves, and they will construe it. Unfortunately. I'm not going to say I'm saying unfortunately. I'm putting a little spin on it. But they will, and they do, and they have, and it is. My clock was 3957, and I'm not going to tell you why. 39 minutes, 57. So that's a lot. I didn't mean to make this so long, but this is what I do. And my mom always said, well, by the time you end whatever you're saying, you started in one place, ended in another, and I don't even know what you said. I'm sorry you can't keep up. But that's how my brain works. Apparently that could be autistic or ADHD. I'm not sure. But it's because this thing is related to this thing, and I feel like you need the backstory for this to know about this, and all of this is all connected too. And then that's why it winds up how it winds up. Trust me, the only thing that the CBD gummies has to do with it is the fact that I'm here saying it in the first place. Without it, I don't speak. I'm damn near a mute. I don't care who you are, and it shocks me. Like, I don't know what people from high school would say about me, but through high school, unless I really had something to say. Have you watched Rose Red? So in Rose Red, there's this moment where Nick tells the sister of Annie Wheaton, which is played by Kimberly J. Brown, new movie coming out right now with her in it. I want to see it, but it's a freaking Hallmark. BASDARDS. And he says, she doesn't say much. He's talking to the sister about her not talking a lot and this and that, but Annie Wheaton, one of the most powerful ones, when she does speak, she says what the hell she means. And she means it. And of course, it's got the supernatural aspect. So that's what I mean when I say know. KNOW. No. Knowledge. No. Knowledge. Know what you are saying and mean it. I'm starting to practice it more and more, but I don't say a lot. Mostly because it's lost on people. I can give you a backstory, but this is long enough. I think I'll leave it alone. I don't know if I'll remember it'll come up again, and I know it will. That's what I got used to doing. I know it's going to happen when it's going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and stress it. It'll happen when it happens. But yeah, I want to be more mindful. We need to be more mindful. Something in this message was meant to be heard. There's quite a few things. Sometimes I wrote some down the other day. I was like, I have to just start doing this. This is what I want to do. I need to make these videos, do this, put this stuff out there. And it's hard because sometimes I can just write it down and I'm done. And I have gone back to journaling. I used to consider myself a writer. I do consider myself a writer. Problem is, I should have gone to college for those things. The things I was good at and that I loved. But no, I did what every ignoramus does without realizing I was doing it. And was like, I have to make money. Bitch, I was making money. I had a decent job. I did. I got paid more than minimum wage back then. It wasn't like a lot. It was 8 something at both jobs. And then gradually you got raises that put you up even more. But it was... I don't know. I'm going to go inside and eat this food and lay down. And hope to come back later and talk. And I hope there's people to talk to. I swear, I'm not kidding. You can look through my videos. The quality's garbage. I'm just trying to find like-minded people, really. I've been saying that since I started trying to do social media work at all, on Facebook. And I did mean it. And then I just started accepting whomever. And I just cleaned off my Facebook friends list. And by that I mean if we don't talk, because if doesn't exist, when we don't talk daily, basically, or at all, or within a week, or within a month, and I don't really enjoy talking to you in the first place, or we don't hang out and get together in real life, I deleted. And that's how it should be. I'm sorry. When it's time to say goodbye, it's time to say goodbye. I shouldn't feel like I need to pack up, spend a bunch of money, and find some way to fly away, even though I wish I could. I wish I could live in California, or the Philippines, or, I don't know, Fez, anywhere but here. That's a good movie with Natalie Portman as well. But anyway, I shouldn't have to feel like I have to up and move, because I don't owe you an explanation. Our journey ended a long time ago. We held on for no reason. Holding on, like Lorelai says with Luke, I'm hanging on the back of the car on the bumper and just going pow, pow, pow on the ground, I'm like the freaking tailpipe thing, just sparks flying, hanging on to something long gone. I don't want to do that anymore. And I shouldn't have to. And I shouldn't have to feel like I should. 4444. You should just accept it and move on. It's time to let go. You let go a long time ago. You just want me to think that you didn't for your own advantage. And I'm not here for that. I mean, that is self-centered. Although now I'm starting to live for myself. So I do understand and I even empathize and I have peace. And that's why it's okay and easy to walk away. Because now I'm working on me and I want to be mindful and I want to be present and I want to have revolutions more often, like I feel like I am and do. I just don't want to be miserable. And my revolution, like I said, from all of it is I'm a very unhappy person. And if emotion regulation is my problem, then emotion regulation must be from all the time I have pent up and didn't show my emotions about anything and basically went numb to life. I'm only 36 years old and I think I have 35 more years worth of sucking it up to go before finally I might feel like a happy person. That's what meditation is for. That's why it's so important. I do realize that. And meditation isn't for everyone. It's not sitting namaste. Like I said, do what feels close to source. What takes you out of your head. What allows you to eventually just la la la. You know, for me it is dancing. It can be bike riding. It can be swinging. And also these things tend to be stimming things, and I spin. I used to spin in circles. I can't now. It makes me sick. I mean, my whole head and neck just can't, and I get vertigo as well, especially with smells, so sinusy, and I can't do perfumes or lotions or fucking anything in my hair basically that has a scent. Just, it's, I don't know. Anyway, that's irrelevant, but like it's all connected. And I've said that since for a long time. I've said, oh, I can't show you that tattoo. I'll just show you infinity. It's close. Everything's connected and people make me mad. And I don't like this tattoo. It needs fixed. I would have liked it, but I can't even show it to you because I suck. It's supposed to be a bird with a broken wing. And of course, the archer's bow arrow. And the infinity symbol with my sisters. I suggested we just get like number 1, number 2, number 3, or oldest. Second oldest, first middle, second middle, first youngest. That would have been hilarious. The youngest, that's me. No one was going for it. Like I said, no one will go for it. They don't have my brain. That's fine. I understand, but it is lonely. Also Googled superimposed self-reliance today. Learned that, I mean, way back in junior high and high school with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Professor Walsh, season, had to have been 4. And I thought, oh, that's me. You know why? Because of the words superimposed self-reliance. Meaning, what I thought that meant was I, myself, had imposed upon myself supernatural, the most amount of self-reliance. And I guess that's kind of true, but what that means inside of that, they make it so negative. They're like, this is because, they're basically saying it's your ego to some extent, to me. But it also is just saying, like, I thought it meant, in a sense, what they say is like, you don't depend on anyone else because you've been shown so many times. And I think it did involve that. Don't quote me, just Google it. I don't think it mentions specifically that, but I think it says like it can stem from those things, but it's like a negative thing at the end of the day. And I do get that in terms of, they say I'm bipolar, but there are moments that I feel, superhuman. Almost, no, but I do sometimes. Like, I can do anything. But my thing is, I think that it also comes from having those separate realities sort of inside you, you know, that battling demons versus angels, you know, your good versus your bad, your weaknesses versus your strengths. And my weaknesses tend to say, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. One Good Day, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a good one. It's got Mila Kunis Kutcher in it. But I think a lot of that stems from those things, having that uneven amount and fighting yourself on it, not fully knowing yet where you stand. And again, that's where I think it comes back to, for me anyway, this is how I did it, but to at least have the intent to achieve peace inside ourselves, peace and clarity. And I think a lot of peace comes from clarity. But before you get to peace, when you are getting clarity, that's what you're going to feel like. You're going to feel like a werewolf coming out of your body. You know, I get the metaphors. I've always said, that's why Buffy the Vampire Slayer still to this day is my favorite television series. Yes, the original from 1998 and so on. Actually, it was like 96 or 7 because they graduated high school in... 99 is when they graduated high school in the show. So yeah, I think it was started in 97, 98, 99, etc. I wasn't watching it back then. Like, I knew of it. It was like a thing, but I was literally 9, 10, 11. And then when we moved and I met my friend, and then he got heavily into it. And he's also gay. I don't even like using it. I like the 100. Like, I do believe that is how we should be. Doesn't matter who you're with, you just love, because we're just souls. And I swear on my life, ever since I've started this journey, ever since I've started just trying to eradicate fear, essentially, I guess, in myself, because I realize fear is at the bottom of a lot of things, but apparently it's not really the only thing. Anger is also there. Like with animals, I can pretty much, I feel like I'm talking to them at this point, and I like that. And it's because I'm relying more on the body language. I'm relying more on thinking you're just a soul. And by a soul, I mean you're just an innocent child. And you are. You are an innocent child, whether you believe in God or not. We're children. We're just bodies. This is our first time on earth. And when it's not, we're not really aware of it, so we got to do the work. But it's our first time, typically, in any given situation. And we're okay. We can screw up. That's all right. We can do it and go, oh, I don't like how I did that. I don't even want to call it screwing up. I don't want to call it being bad or doing wrong or a mistake. By the way, break that word up. Mistake. Oh, it was a mistake. Yeah. When you say it differently, it changes the meaning, doesn't it? It was a mistake. No, it was something I mistook. I took it wrong. Thereby, actually, I handled it wrong. I did something I feel now I realize I shouldn't have done. But that was an experience, and that's all it was, and that's all it is and will ever be, unless you allow it to be something else. It's an experience that teaches you something so that you can use it further on your path down the road. And when you avoid that, you start to screw up your path. Block puzzle. I don't want to stop, because if it's there, it needs to be said, and I want it out there. I wish I could just repeat it all, write it all down, organize it, and do it. Maybe one day. Block puzzle. When I started playing that game, I started to notice, and I don't know what to call it, but pay attention, and I was really just trying to figure out how to win, how to get a high score, which there is no winning that I know of. You can go and go and go. I don't know how far. I've checked out a video on YouTube there and watched, and I was like, what the heck? How do these people have like 20, 30, 40, I don't even know, 1,000 points? How is that possible? I'm struggling. And I finally got 10 one night. Then I got 11. Then recently I got 16. Then I coached my husband, and we were on video chat the other night, because he's out of town, like I said. And he did screen share, and I watched his screen. I was like, no, because most of it is doing what needs to be done, but not necessarily like to build onto what's already there. It depends on what is there. But anyway, it's thinking about the future move, the next move you're going to make. You know, like I kept telling him forever, don't put blocks like in a spot where there's just one block left by itself, because they give you those in the beginning of the game. They give them to you like a courtesy, like, oh, it's all right, you're going to get a brain soon, and you fix that spot and you can clear the whole line. You know, it's like, not Jenga, I almost said Jenga, I mean, I guess it is, but it's like digital. It's like, you know, the ones that fall from on the old games. We had the old game, was our first system, was a regular Nintendo. It's that Tetris. I was like, I'm struggling. The word is there. It's kind of like Tetris, but they're not falling. You just have 3 at the bottom of your screen. You start with it. Anyway, and you build across, and then once you get all of them together, whoosh, and it clears for you. And you don't want to force fill the whole board because you're not going to have room for blocks. It all goes gray, and you die, essentially. You got to start all over and get whole new points. But it does save it and say, like, this is your high score. Get a new high score. It says new high score. So, anyway, I wish I had something for you to look at while you listen to me other than my ugly face. My beautiful face. Don't talk down. Don't talk down. Words matter. They are spells, and you will believe it, and then your brain will create it. Our brains are computers. If you still can't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they're not a computer like Bebop Boop Bop, but they're the original computer. The Earth, God, whatever, is the original computer, what we know to be a computer to this day. The original interwebs are right here. And again, I've seen it on the internet coming up, and it'll be on there after this because my phone hears me, listens, and puts it in the algorithm. But, oh, I have like 16 Facebook friends now. That's it. I cleared off all of them. And I don't know as far as followers, because I don't think that's like a thing, and I'm not going to make people not follow me, but like I'm not going to keep being friends with people I'm not friends with. I'm just not going to do it. That's just pointless. It just puts what is the word? Me and words, bro. It's a distraction. That's the reality. Even this is probably just another distraction. But anyway, what was I talking about? Words. Okay, so I started working on block puzzle. I'm sorry, like I really had to think that through. And I really wanted to figure out, like, how can I do this right? And so, like I said, I feel like I understand it a lot better than I did. But on that game, one wrong move can mess up every future move. So when your screen is too full already, they'll give you these big 3-block L or backward L/7, it'll be like this, or it'll be like this, or it'll be like this, and like something as simple as that. You'll be like, oh, I need to find a spot for this, but one wrong move and you're not going to have room. You're not going to get it cleared in time to make space for the other parts. And I'm kind of like, that's literally how life is. You can be, I'm not saying you can't go back sometimes in life or like switch, like I can go back and audition, sure. But let's say I went down there, auditioned, threw a huge tantrum that I didn't get a part. How dare you, blah, blah, blah. Now I'll never get a part. Now they don't like me. Now I'm not welcome back there. Or just whatever. You know what I mean? Like one wrong move can just... I could go in the house and eat this food, and because I sat out here for so long, I end up getting food poisoning or something because my food went bad and time temperature abuse, and now I screw up tomorrow. And so from that moment on, every ounce of my faith that was set for tomorrow to put something in play has been destroyed. It's ruined. It's gone. Now we have to go with a new plan. It might still get me to the same place because God knows what he's doing, but I could take a really long time getting there because I'm making the wrong moves. And it's not that it's wrong, it's that it just wasn't the puzzle piece for that puzzle. It was the wrong move for me. It might damn well be the right move for you. Being a single mom, working 2 jobs, trying to get my degree, finishing college, might have been the wrong move for someone else. Someone else may have quit, dropped out, left one of the jobs, given the kid up for adoption and said, to hell with this. That's the right decision for them. I'm not going to tell them that it's not. It isn't my place. God gives each soul, or we as whatever we are, earth, before we get down here and shot out, whatever it is, God gives us each, our life gives us each, we have one soul supposed to experience a particular set of experiences in order to build and become and get to a particular point. Now, I'm to the point that, yes, I do believe the overall picture for me, and I know people are always like, well, that's not really all there is to it. For me, the number one main shabam thing you need to be doing is love. You need to slow down, take a deep breath, not respond out of your own defensiveness, your own unhealed wounds, your own trauma, hate, anger, resentment, jealousy. Nothing we do out of those things, all of them, I don't know, there's probably more. I just don't have enough fingers. I'm holding my phone and I'm going to use my toes. None of those things are us. Those are our demons, whether you believe in physical demons, spiritual demons, or just it's a metaphor. Those are our traumas. Those are our pains. Those are our hurts, our scars, our psychological, mental, whatever, 6 senses, 6 to 7 senses, but there's really 4 to 6 elements: earth, air, fire, water, blah, blah, bullshit, spirit. Yeah. Are you starting to see something? Are you starting to think things? Yeah. So, yeah, I wish I could just rewind it and tell myself what I was saying, because I just really want to go in and eat now and go to bed. But, yeah, that's it. We need to follow love more than anything right now. I know it's money, money, money in the 3D plane. We created rules because I'm sure we needed them. We needed them because basically people are irrational and they're not living out of love, or they weren't. You know, I don't want to, because this, and it's should have been a lot of different videos, but like take The Walking Dead, for example. That's the best example I got for you. If you've seen it, and if you haven't, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, and what about Demolition Man? That's one of my faves. I love that. Watch Demolition Man. Watch The Handmaid's Tale. Watch the one I just said, The Walking Dead. So we're in whatever season Negan finally shows up in, and I now feel like I can't even keep watching it. Although we did finally watch it again. I watched the first episode after the really bad episode. And, you know, I've always been, when I was in high school, I got so heated over Hitler. I was so mad because I don't know the details. Like I said, I am an emotional person. I like to say the line from the Maroon 5 song. I live on all emotion, baby. Never question, never maybe. Yeah, I do. But I don't. I'm trying to control that. What I mean by that is I live on my emote ions. Things that emote me, that make me feel. Okay? And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be living on how we feel, but not living out of what we feel. But we learn from what we feel. Okay, that hurt. Now I communicate that hurt. And if that person chooses to continue to do those things, now I leave that person, etc. Or that place or that thing or idea. But you get the point. Because we can't control other people, period. Or things, or ideas. Whatever. But I think the general answers are in the Bible. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. I love that. I don't know that's actually, but that is legitimate. Now, I haven't read it all. I haven't read all the different versions either. I'm discrediting myself as I say it because I'm not a know-it-all. And I guess other people just don't have the capacity to do such a thing and to be so honest because they're living in their ego all the time. So then they go around calling me the golden child. She's just gold. She can just do anything. No, I can't. No one ever agrees with me or believes in me or shows up for me. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm an angry person. But the basic instructions are in there, I do believe. And I think people get hung up over this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, he told you this is what to do. And again, I believe he said it. He, it, we are one. 1 and 0. Young Sheldon. But yes, for real. You know, and again, people get caught up in, well, you should this and well, you should that. That's not the point. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be sharing knowledge, having conversations, and an exchange of knowledges, experiences, feelings, solutions would be nice. Can we stop fighting over what's already happened and stop causing pain and hurt? Those are demons, and you're letting them win. Can we just show up and make a solution now? I've already suggested a couple. I like mine. I even like some other people's solutions I've heard. But can we stop causing more pain, hate, anger, and resentment in this world? Can we stop letting the demons win? Oh, I miss you so much. Anyway, so yeah, now I'm going in. I hope someone out there was like, oh wow, yeah, totes. Like, and it's okay if you're not, but don't attack me. Just don't be in my comments attacking me. You're not doing anybody any good. I get it. I do it. When I have anger, hate, resentment, hurt, pain, I feel alone, I feel unheard, I feel unlistened, I feel unseen. I literally scroll through Facebook. Everything I see, I can find something negative to say about it, and I say it. It's so weird. I've had 2 people recently comment and actually like comment back to my comment and be like, I literally know how you feel, and I can tell that you are, basically in the darkness, but that's not how they said it. And I have that happen so infrequently, and honestly, that's all the internet should be used for, is compassion and a way to further actually show up and communicate. The problem is, I just throw out statistics, make them up based on my life experiences. I exaggerate or whatever. Hyperbole. That girl is on fire. Buffy. On the internet, through a device, through a screen, through text, unless you're me. Few people write as honestly and mean as you do. Because I try to write. I don't even try. I have no choice. I write who I am. I'll say, ... The dots are a pause. They often indicate unsureness. I thought everyone knew, but I think I'm figuring out they don't. I despise getting a message that's just like flat. But also I have met people who talk like that. And I'm trying to learn too, because I think it's being more present and accountable. And that's something, like I said, I'm not good with it, and I fear it and all that, but I think we need to use the internet more to connect. And when you can't, then just stop using it, especially so much. And I know that one day we won't use it like this anymore. It's starting to fall off because of people maybe like me and better than me. Some people are never on at all. Some people don't even have a Facebook. I've been tempted to pull a Gibbs and go get a flip phone just so that I have a phone. But I'm also just like, you know what you can do for now? Small steps. When I go out, I leave it in the car. If I'm at the park with the kids, I leave it in the car. If I'm in the house, except I use it for my steps, but that's why I was going to get an MP3 so I could use it for music, download music, put it on it, and not feel like the whole world can see me all the time. But again, like when I can just listen to music, if I'm going for a walk, doing something where I'm not quite so on autopilot, but my body is on autopilot. My nervous system is on autopilot, but my brain gets to be free, creative, get in the zone. In the zone. I was thinking of Britney Spears, In the Zone. I was not thinking of AutoZone, but they always come hand in hand now, don't they? They should totes do that. Like, get a hookup with Britney and give me a little cash on that. Hit up Britney and use her song In the Zone. Get in the zone. It's just me and the beat. I mean, yeah, you can have the car playing. Oh, see? Ideas. You have the car out there playing music, and someone's like, yo, I need your help, homies. Come check my car, hook it up to your tester. I need a 4-way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm sorry if you don't get any of that. You understand why I have these issues. But that's all. Love, pray for peace and kindness and focus on it. Slow down and take deep breaths instead of just reacting. Find out what's behind your tone of voice in the first place, or your own mental perception of the world. Because the sooner we figure it out, the sooner we can work with it and go, okay, why? Okay, then we start to figure out all these things and reasons that might be why. And then we can go, okay, but now I want to heal. Now I don't want to be that person anymore. And I don't for my kids. I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be miserable, angry, hateful, resentful, unhappy, overly exhausted all the time. I don't want to be that. And I don't want to have to mask. I want to be the kind of person who doesn't have to mask. regardless of whatever reason I'm masking. And I think the intent alone, that's another thing that kept showing up. I think the intent alone speaks volumes and really helps. But I can't believe this has been an hour and 9 minutes. My kids brought home, I don't go to church, but I'm sorry, I feel like okay, it's right. It looked like my mirror was pointed up more, but it's not. My kids go to church on Wednesday nights, and I love that. That's my favorite thing right now about them. And my son just recently started going. He's 14, and so they didn't have a class before, but he goes. And anyway, they brought home these papers that were like color by number, and it was a big heart in the middle. And I saw the heart, and I saw the pattern, and all this and that, and I showed it to my husband. I was like, check this out. Because he was playing the block puzzle game, and it gave him a pattern in the middle to start with that was a big old heart. And I was like, that's crazy. I know these are signs from God. I know they are. Whatever. Well, I realized today that the bottom of that paper says, basically, God only cares about the heart. He only cares about your heart. He only sees your heart. And I know I've thought it a lot. I know we say, oh, best intentions, da-da-da-da-da, pave the road to hell and all that. But you can never go wrong. Now, in the 3D plane, yeah, everyone's going to get pissed at you. You could lose your life for living out of your heart. But I'm finally, I feel like, getting to where I would rather live out of my heart, my soul, what helps me sleep at night. Which I never thought that I've not ever just been this highly unethical, blah, blah, non-moralistic person. I've never just been, but like I said, the darkness comes in, y'all. I can see both sides, and that's what's so hard. I can empathize with anyone. I can research, I can look into their life, and I can comprehend, understand, but I don't even like to say that anymore. I can understand, comprehend, and I can make peace with it. I can empathize. It doesn't mean I'm excusing your behavior based on said empathy. I do realize we need a better system. We need a better, I don't know, medical and government system, period. We need them. We need it all redone. And I do believe and hope and pray to God. All the time I pray to God. So I just trust that He's taking care of it. It's going to happen through whatever system. But I do believe it needs wiped out. It needs wiped out. Every bit of it. It's wrong. What we're standing on is lies. It's misinterpretations. It's projection. What we are standing on it's something not strong, sturdy, or stable. You come up with it. I'm not quite that quick yet, I guess. I want to say sand. That's literally what I think. It's sand. They struck lightning on it, and they were like, yo, we made glass, beach. No pun intended. And glass shatters real easy. So, and also, I'm sure at some point the same heat, lightning that created the glass can certainly destroy it, melt it even. I'm sure. I don't know that. I'm not a scientist. I've never studied. Google it. Anyway, I'm going. And I love you, and peace out. And, God, just let me get one person who's like, I get you. And don't let it be some crazy person. I'm crazy enough on my own. Peace, clarity, love. In whichever order. But as long as you're constantly focusing on those and building those. Where you focus is what you grow. What you reap, you sow. What you plant, you grow. Something, the seeds. That's all. Peace out and love y'all.